Today's topic is: are you ever too old to like or enjoy the same things you did as a kid?
No.
Like when people say "act your age" or what do they really mean?
Maybe don't make the same mistakes you made when you were a kid or you were younger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah.
When I hear act your age, it's people acting childish.
Yeah.
Meaning like what?
Like maybe like when you see
Sort of like what
a
it's-
grown man
Yeah.
throw like when you see people throw tantrums in public, or like
Mm-hmm.
they're just being very, very immature. You're just like, come on,
Like-
act your age.
Crying when they don't get their way. Basically.
If you're a grown man and you're crying because you don't get your way.
Temper tantrums and stuff. But okay,
Yeah.
so like going back to the enjoy, like you hear a lot of times you're saying like, you see people. There's all kinds of judgment stuff all over the internet. So
Yeah.
like, oh, if you're in your 30s, you shouldn't be wearing this. You shouldn't be driving this or whatever. What are people getting at? What's the reason behind that?
So there's an example of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
my hair's parted on the side. I'm old apparently.
I've heard about the
Yeah,
middle versus the
the
side
middle
parts
part
being.
Yeah.
is apparently a young thing, and I think honestly what it is.
You heard about that one, Josh? No.
Nope,
You're
did not know
yeah.
about that.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I'm like, no, my hair just goes that way. It's been going that way since the 90s. It's there now.
Mm-hmm.
There's no.
It's just hair.
It's just the way. Yeah, I mean that's in my thought. That's just hair. But I think the difference there between the Gen Z and I'm a Gen Xer technically, so
Mhm.
is distinguished, like separating. I don't want to look like my mom.
Mm.
Yeah.
I see.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
What was the question?
So, are you ever too old
to do
to
anything?
do the same things that you enjoyed as a kid?
No.
Is there any things that are just like, okay, you should not, you're too old? Is there anything in the world that you're just too old for?
Well, is this referring to like there's a big thing right now about how like adults make up like 60% of or like 30, I don't know the exact thing, but it was a healthy chunk of the toy market
I've heard
and like the
that too.
hobby stuff. And,
Yeah.
like older people are just like making fun of these people because they have hobbies and they enjoy things, or like
Right.
you
Well,
should
then don't do
you
it.
should be hating your life at work and going home and being
Yeah.
miserable for the rest of your life instead of doing things you want to do.
Why
Want
should
to
I
do.
hate hobbies?
Well,
Yeah.
my hobbies, things I do, it's easier to do them as you get older.
Yeah.
I have freedom to do
Money.
them. I have money to spend on them.
I see comments like that in like
Yeah.
regards to like video games, like where people say like, oh, I see comments where saying like, I don't play video games because I'm a grown up, which
is
it's just
weird.
crazy because most of the video game people that play video games are grown ups.
Because we grew up with them.
Exactly.
Like
Like, okay, yeah, it was different like when we were kids because like our parents were very new to it. They didn't have that. So it was weird back then to see someone in their 40s or 50s play video games.
Yeah.
It was weird back then, but it's not like that anymore.
My mom used to sit at home when we were at school and try to learn how to play like the Atari. So
Yeah.
she could come home and like beat me and my sister.
You did the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a rite of passage.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't think you're ever too old to do what makes you happy. Like, do what makes you happy. You want to be a Disney adult? Be a Disney adult.
As long
I'm
as-
not going to,
That
but go ahead.
that is another thing that I see. A lot of people that
you know the Disney adult
that
people,
people-
right?
You're not want to go as adults. Like Epcot.
Okay, there's a difference.
Epcot is its whole
No,
own
no,
thing.
no.
That's like a whole new
You
thing.
can eat and drink
Yeah, yeah,
in
yeah.
different countries all day.
But going into like Disney as an adult without kids and being a Disney adult is two different worlds.
Is that different things?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maybe
yeah.
I don't know the difference.
It's like the
Oh.
ultras, the
Like-
fanatics.
Kind
yeah.
of obsessed. They,
Oh.
you know.
That might
That
not be
like
me.
when you see,
Yeah, I don't think that's-
it's not me.
I don't wanna make
I
fun
like
of
making
anybody.
fun
A lot of times-
I'm a known hater,
I'm a known hater
but you know, like I'm
and a bully.
And a bully.
no, like when you see, when you see the grown adults when they go to Disney World and they see the characters and they start crying and stuff like that, I'm just like, oh jeez.
Mhm.
But
But if
let people like what they want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my thing. If it makes you happy and it's your money and you're not
Yeah.
hurting anybody and everybody is consensual and
Yeah, it
whatever
doesn't
you're
seem
into.
to hurt anybody else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
who cares?
See with me, and because lately I bought like 2 Funko Pops lately. I bought 3, and I'm like, am I too old? Like I'm having that debate with myself.
No, it's your mom.
So I'm like, should I be buying these? But they're decorations. And I was like, are they toys? They're toys, but they're models.
Do you like them?
Yeah, I like them. So it's
There
like,
you go.
and that was that's
Yeah.
why I bought them. I was like, who cares? I like them. I'm gonna buy
I
them
don't care.
or whatever. But it's crazy how often people have this conversation with themselves all the time about things that they want to do and things that they want
That's
to watch.
Probably because there's some weird thing in society
Mhm.
that you shouldn't be doing.
Because
things
we're always
anymore.
afraid that we're
Yeah.
being judged or we're
Yeah.
being like,
But I've learned strongly in the last couple of years that I'm gonna do what makes me happy.
I've heard too. What's the phrase like? If you realized how little other people think about you, you would just really stop caring. Like they're not
Yeah.
spending their days thinking about what you're doing.
yeah,
They got their own
Most
stuff to
people
deal with.
Yeah, when you think about it, you're like,
No
I
one's
think
paying
about my
attention.
friends and people I see every day. But I'm not just thinking about random people. I wonder what that person's doing right now. Like,
yeah.
I see somebody in public. I'm just like, I don't think or care about that person in the slightest. They have their whole life, and I'm just like, whatever.
There's a lot of peace and happiness in realizing that nobody really cares about what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Like I was thinking about high school. Like, remember when you're in high school, everything was such a huge deal. But then when you're an adult, you realize like only like 5% of that actually matters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like
I think you do encounter sometimes getting
Yeah.
older. I hear like Karen and women talk about
Mhm.
like the places you shop at. Like you become too old for
Yeah.
some particular place anymore, but you don't want to go to the old person place because you don't want to, like you said, look like your
I
mom.
feel that way.
So like,
Yeah.
can you still do this? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
Yeah.
I encounter that as much.
I encountered
No.
that because I remember reading a thing where like, do you dress like you're 30, or
What is that?
you need to start dressing like you're. I read this years ago or whatever, but there was a thing where like it was an article and it was like men need to start if you're in your 30s, you need to ditch the Superman shirts and ditch all that and start. You know what I'm saying? It was stuff like that. So I was like, I don't dress like that. I dress like I wear the superhero tees and the sports apparel and stuff like that. I don't ever wear a suit and tie or a polo or unless I'm going to church. You know, that's just not me.
I wonder the opposite sometimes of like how old you have to be to pull something off. Like certain hats that like older guys wear. There's
Yeah.
some age you approach where you think, that's the right choice for me. And you do it too young and you're like doing it ironically or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I feel like you're never too old to enjoy what you enjoy, and at the end of the day, who cares? It's your money and everything. But it is something that does get brought up on repeat by people all the time, and you can't escape it.
People are judgy.
Yes, very judgy. And they always say the things about when they see people do stuff that they don't like to do. Like say if they don't like to watch, for example, say they don't like to watch cartoons. And so they see a man watching cartoons, they're like, "Oh, aren't you too old for that?" But they don't ever stop and question the things that they do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's never them; it's always somebody else. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it is
It's a big one.
right, but I don't know. I think you should just do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anybody.
Yeah.
For sure. And
Right.
so, are we all in agreement here?
I think so, yeah.
All right. Well, there we have it.
Monsters, Tyler?